What's up, guys? Today we're going to be doing a castle rebuilding series. It's been a while since I rebuilt my castle, and I really have no idea what I'm going to do with this. I mean, obviously, as you can see from these three rooms here, I'm going to do something with spike traps. I haven't done spike tunnels in a while, probably, I don't know if I've even done it since level 30. So it's been a long time, and since we got a couple caustic carpets, I want to make use of those, as well as maybe my hot rollers and other things that I haven't quite used yet. So I'm going to kind of do this design and hope that it's not really going to be a permanent thing, and I'm really hoping that totems will come out this week. They've kind of been saying that they're going to come out for a while, and I'm hoping that they'll come out this week so I can rebuild again, because that's what I've really been waiting for, is I haven't really thought of any great unique designs coming out of this. So a lot of it might be stuff that you've already seen. I'm going to try something kind of new here, but it's only really new for me. Other people have been doing it for a while. So yeah, I think we'll turn this into a two-part series. The first part I'll just kind of go through really quickly and put in like a rough sketch kind of thing of what I want to do. So I'll just throw in some traps, throw in some generators, try to figure out exactly what I'm going to be doing so I can get kind of a flow for my castle before I go in and start fine-tuning things. I also want to see if I'm going to have to add any rooms to this. Well, I have only one room available, but if I have to add in like another cross hall, or what is it? What is this room? I don't remember. Corner, no, it's not corner corridor. It's cross hall 6, I think, right? Let's see. I guess I should do that anyway, because a lot of people wonder what the rooms are if you don't know just by looking at them. So I'm pretty sure this is cross hall 6. I'm trying to find it. I probably went past it like 3 times. I never like recognize the rooms when I'm going through blueprints. Once I actually like lay them out, I'm good. Yeah, it's right here, cross hall 6. So that's the 3 core rooms right here. These 3 are all identical. This is corner bridge. I don't know exactly which one it is, but it's pretty much the most commonly used room in Mighty Quest. Maybe not, but it's used in a lot of castles. That one's a little easier to spot usually because it's got the blue on it. Right here. So that's corner bridge 1, and then this is junction chamber something. It's the one with the big choke that I've used in pretty much every castle right here, junction chamber 2. I've used in every castle for a while because I really like this choke. I think it's really good. This room is just a little bit too compact, or a little bit too open rather. If it was like cut off right here, it'd be a lot better of a room. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I remember reading they did Fireside Brawl the other week. It was like, I don't know, like a week and a half ago now, or maybe more. And I heard somebody talking about it. It was all in French, so I didn't actually get to like listen to it because I don't speak French. But I was reading through a translation, and I thought I heard something about like custom rooms. I don't know exactly what that means. It's really annoying that they didn't do an English stream of that. Maybe they did do an English rebroadcast, and I just didn't find where it was. But I don't know. I thought I heard something like that coming down the grapevine from other people, but it might not actually be. I don't know what they're thinking about with custom rooms. Like if you can actually build a room from scratch, I feel like that would be amazing. But at the same time, it would be really like heavily exploited. I feel like maybe if you could build 1 out of 8 rooms or something like that yourself, maybe that would be okay. But I feel like people would just do like 1 by 1, just like a path back and forth, like snaking through. There would have to be some restrictions to it. But either way, let's jump into the castle building. So I'm thinking about a kill zone in this room. The thing is, like, the castle isn't really going to be a kill zone castle, and it's not really the best thing to have a kill zone at your very first room, because generally when people jump into a castle, that's when they're the most cautious, and as the time ticks down, and as they get farther into the castle, they just kind of want to rush through it. They want to be done with it. They want to get the loot. So it's usually better to do kill zones in the later stages. I could do a kill zone here, but since there's a choke here, and it's nice to start your castle off with a choke because it's a little bit harder to kite back through. So you want to force a little bit of extra, you know, trap pressure right at the front, and then I was feeling like a kill zone here into spike room, spike room, spike room, set up for boss room, and then boss room. And the boss will probably be again maybe my spider boss. I actually like him quite a bit. He bugs out. That's the only thing that I'm not too happy with, when he decides to disappear or just de-aggro and like run away. But what can you do about that? So I think we might start off with the 1 caustic carpet right here, just for anti-kiting and to just zone people out a little bit better. Let's see if this actually works though, because I'm not sure if traps will line up like I want them to. So we'll do like a trap generator here. I'll probably need another trap generator for a couple ballistas, maybe here. So something like that. Like I said, this is going to be my rough draft of the castle, and then I can go through and start testing things and get a little bit more in depth in the next part. So let's see. We'll do ballistas here. I don't really need to worry about those yet. Let's just make sure that this all lines up properly. Like, ballistas are going to be easy to put in after as long as it works. So we want to have 4 springboard traps. One of them isn't powered. Let's see if we can power it from the other side. Alright, so that works. And I think that actually gives me just enough room for a jelly wall, which is just about perfect for what I want to do. Alright, so throw them into a jelly wall, or maybe a little bit past it, but hopefully into the jelly wall. And then we're going to be doing something with smelly archers on headshot. So I'll just throw one of those. I'll throw a couple of those in here about where I want them. And then I'll finish off that group in probably the next part. I just want to kind of go through and figure out what I'm doing here. Okay, so now I have to figure out how do I want to set this up. So if you guys remember, maybe last week, I think it was during a viewer castle episode, I was talking about how to set up these rooms so that both you could put a group here and a group here, and neither of them are skippable, because sometimes this group over here is skippable if you set it up a certain way. So I'll show that now, if I can figure out exactly what I do. I'm pretty sure that I have this skipped, and I just decided to do this at one point because here, I'll show what most people do, or used to do in this room, and why it's bad. So let's do that real quick, because I like showing things like this in these videos. I'm actually gonna have to build a lot of spike traps, and I don't know what they cost. Hopefully it's like the D-trappy things and not cogs, because that could actually screw up this entire design. Let me just double check that right now, because I have quite a few of the D-trappies. Okay, it is cogs. That's actually terrible. I'm gonna have to use old spike traps for the most part then, because I only have enough for 4 of these. But I do have like 20 old spike traps, which aren't as good at all, but I'll have to make do with them for now. I'm not actually sure if I want to do 3 full rooms of this now. I don't know, I can replace them as I start farming up cogs. Like, I doubt they're going to put another trap out for cogs right away. Also, this castle's good because anyone who dies in it, a lot of the times I'll probably get cogs because there's so many of those used in the castle. So that's one good thing. Anyway, so let's talk about this. Okay, so let's say I want something here. I don't know what exactly, but I could just throw in like a Stairmaster or something like that right here. So this is basically as close as this guy can get, and he's got to be touching the wall with that aggro circle for it to not be skippable. And he doesn't quite do that when it's set up like this. So if you see a setup that's exactly like this, you can always hug this wall. You'll take 1 or 2 ticks of spike trap damage, maybe that you shouldn't have, but you'll be able to skip an entire group. So everybody should really just cut this wall and cut this corner. So what I started doing a little bit differently is I kind of noticed, like, who's really going to walk on this spike trap right here? It's pretty much never going to be useful because they're just going to cut around this corner. So you're pretty much never going to walk over this spike trap anyway. So what I was doing is taking this completely out, and it makes me think if I want to rotate this, but I don't think I do. Only reason being is you can stand right here, so if you stand, I'm making it so that you can stand here, right? So if you stand here and you can shoot down this hallway into these guys, I might not even be able to put a group here if I do it this way. Let's see how it looks if I do it the other way. So I'm going to have to get rid of these for the time being. I'll remember that this was a kill zone though. Alright, let's take a look at this to see if I rotate it this way, I think, right? No. Well, I gotta try to figure out how this is gonna work. I guess it would have to be like this.
The place is
Right, because it won't ever work the other way, I think. Yeah, it's only gonna work like that. It would have to be like this, so they have to travel around, and then I'd have to rotate everything. But let me just take a look. So if you're coming down here, this won't be here. Let's just take it off for a second. Coming around here, you get to this point. I could put mouse wheels in here, but really, you're always really able to do this. Unless I could, let's see if I can fit this. If I put this over here, can I fit a spike trap right here? I can. That's actually, well, no, because I don't know if I'll be able to do this. I don't think that would work, actually. Not for the first room, at least. So let's get rid of this. Let's rotate it back the way I had it before. Like this.
This is
And
what
move
I
it
call
back.
a hideout.
Yeah, for the first room I think this is just going to be how it is, because I need a little bit of extra space to make this work. So I might not be able to even put a group here. But anyway, get back to what I was saying is I put my trap generator here instead of up in this corner. And I just hug everything down like this. Just push it all down. And now you can get something in right up next to it. And it's easily able to not be skipped. Because you'll have this little extra space right here. And that will make it so that it's not skippable. I'm actually not sure exactly how does this work again. I think it just fits in really nicely. Yeah, and then there's that little extra space right there. You can put in creatures right here, or you can put in barricades or whatever you want. So that's pretty good. Alright. Can do that. And I think this, yeah, and then that just works out really nicely, gets everything powered. And I can even put a spike trap right here, I think, if I want to, right? So that zones out a little bit more, makes it a little more difficult. I still have enough power left that I can put in a ballista right here. Keep the trap pressure up. So I think the old traps can be in the middle, because those aren't as important, I don't think. And the new traps at the front. Maybe not, actually. Maybe it's the other way around. Or I could do like one after one after one, like just intermix them. Since I have to use them anyway. If I put one after one, they'll desync from each other, so it'll be really hard to actually get across without taking at least a little bit of damage. So something like this. I'm still not going to have enough, though. I'm not sure if I want to use a caustic carpet right here, if I want to use a real spike trap, because I think this is going to be a group right here. Or what I could do is, I think I can move this like this, and then I could put two mouse wheels right here. Takes a little bit more points, but it's a little better, I think. I'm not actually sure. Does this work? Hold on. Let me just double check this. If I have like a 1-point unit right here, does that actually touch the wall? That's close, I think. Yeah, it's really close. Let me test it. So I'm actually going into more detail than I initially wanted to. I'm trying to just make sure that it all works out, but I should be waiting and figuring all this stuff out in my second part, because that's kind of what I planned on at least. Alright, so throw me in. This part should at least, I'll be able to make some sort of a room in there. Alright, so this is skippable because I still have him back, but I want to see if this is skippable. It is, okay. So I can't do it like this. I didn't actually know that. I've seen a lot of people do this setup where they put all their spike traps right here, and they put two mouse wheels right here, and that actually makes this group skippable, so I didn't know that initially. So you kind of have to have a guy at least one hex up into this area. Alright, so I'm just leaving this here, that's fine. So I'm going to have... What I could do is just make it a 1 hex and put one mouse wheel here, but I think that's stupid. That'll never work. Alright. So what I can do is another spike trap if I want to, I guess. Right here. And then I need to put something here that either deals enough damage or some reason why they can't stand right here and shoot into the room. I could even do like a green puddle right there. I feel like that would do enough damage to work out if I did something like that. Those are getting powered by this, but I think that'll change at some point. I could test that out in my next part. Let's see, where could I put this? Right there. That works. Alright, and then another trap generator right here, and right here. More spike traps. Trap generator in this corner. Spike trap, move them over. Okay, what am I going to do here? Why does this look so different? It must be the rotation that I have on this. Because this isn't making the same choke as this was making. Not sure why that is. It's right there. That's the right way. Okay. Because wait, wrong room, right? Oh yeah, either way it's actually going to have one area where there's no choke. So I would rather have this have two chokes and this have only one. So that's fine. Not sure if I'll use anything in this room then. Obviously I'll use something to keep up the pressure right here, but this makes it too easy to get into this room, I think. So yeah, I'm not going to worry about that. Actually, I'll have double. Let's see if I can do this. I need to figure out how this works. Is it this one? Yeah. Move this over here and this over here. That way I have a choke going up into this area and I can use this as a room. And then just leave this open and just not use any creatures inside of it. I could do like a rotating flame trap here or something. Like 2 of them if I wanted to. Something like that. Just to keep the space occupied. Alright, so something like this. I'm not like the biggest fan of spike rooms in general anymore. So I'm really not sure how this castle is going to work out, because I don't really have trouble with them. And I haven't had trouble with them for a while. And the fact that they're all old spike traps as well makes me think that this castle might go like, you know, like 10% wins. Like, it could be really bad. So I'm not even sure if I'm going to do replays on this. I'm really hoping for what do you call it there, totems to come out this week. I really want that to happen. I think it'll bring at least a little bit more life into the game, at least for me. Because right now I feel like I've like tried out almost every kind of defense that I can make. And the new units that they're actually releasing, it doesn't really change strategies because they're basically the same traps, they're just better strength, right? There's Snotters actually are different because nobody really uses Snotters as like a normal attack, and that would be like the Devlin. And then Goatmen obviously were different as well. They can be used a little bit differently. They kind of brought in a whole new idea of unit with this mid-ranged kind of high damage dealing unit. Because really before all we had were long-range high damage, like Zeeks and Smelly Archers. I guess Stairmasters would count as mid-range, but they got nerfed quite heavily in the past. But yeah, I mean, the Rancid Runner, anywhere you use a Rancid Runner, you'd be using Charging Cyclops or Pete Poundmore. And anywhere you use a Hot Roller, you'd be using Mouse Wheels. Anywhere you'd be using, you know, Caustic Carpets, you'd be using Spike Traps. So it's basically the same strategy, it just has a stronger damage to it. Alright, so let's put in this, so I have everything powered. I can kind of see what's going on. Okay, so we'll put a group in here. I'm not sure what yet. I could even put another spike trap right there. This would be like a good room for like Jimbos or something, but it would also be good for some sort of space control creature that has range, so it doesn't have to try to walk on spike traps, because that'll mess with its AI too much. So like Stairmasters or something like that. Goatmen are even okay. I might actually use Stairmasters in this room. I haven't done that in a while. I might do that. Alright, and then here we could put a group in probably. And just put Spike Trap. Where do I want to put this Spike Trap? I think I want 2 of them. Maybe. This is as close as I could get it. So I was wondering if I could do like something like this, and if that would be even good. Probably not, actually. Just leave it like this, and then we'll put in a couple barricades right here. That'll be something I'll have to do as well, as go through and put in barricades, but you know, I could put in like a thick amount of barricades right here to make it a little bit harder for people to get through. So that's, at least 2 autos at best, and probably, if they use abilities, I guess they could probably get through, but it just helps it so they can't forward kite. And then here we need to put in something for anti-kiting, probably similar to one of my last setups, but I'm not sure if I'm going to go as crazy with it. I'm not sure where I need trap generators yet, so let's put this in. I might actually use hot rollers at my boss room. That adds a little bit more anti-kiting to it. So I could do something like this, and then a couple rotating flame traps. I'm actually auto-rotating flame trap 3s. Oh, the new ones I am. I mean, I don't really mind using old ones, though. Okay, I can't put this over here. What if I put it back here? Oh, I see, this one's powering this, but no, I can power this. Hold on. Let's do that. I actually need a lot more power, what I'm noticing right here, than I normally need. I would actually need another trap generator just to do this. That's crazy. Well, I could just put them like this. Kind of has the same effect, but a little bit less. I would want them switched though, so that the new one is closer to person coming in, because it does 10% more damage, so it has higher chance if someone just, curves down right there. And then that gives me enough for like a ballista if I want it. Somewhere like right there, just add a little bit more. Need to make sure that this can shoot down to those corners though, that ballista, when I go through and check things. And then this maybe a corrosive mine here and here or something. So if they try to come in on the sides, they get a little bit more zoned with the corrosive debuff for a little while. And then I would want my boss, which is the Duke of Stabbington. Put him in here, back in his little corner, and then also a bad dog, an old bad dog, because they're better. So this guy will give him the movement speed, which will stick to archers and mages a lot better. Because if he can deal his damage, he can easily deal like 100,000 or 100,000, 1,000 damage a hit to mages and archers with lower resistances. So if he can just deal, a couple hits of his damage, then it's really good. Like he pounces on you, and then he like auto attacks you, runs away, throws his 3 slime, and auto attacks you again. And that will deal like 4,000 damage, so it's like a potion right there. By that time, he'll probably die if he hasn't killed the person already. I could put in like my Stairmaster like I had before. It wasn't that bad. It was a pretty good room, because like with this guy having speed buff and it's like sticking to a major archer, they have to deal with him. They have to like try to get him off of them somehow. So like archers have to be using bear traps or headshot. Mages will use their vortex. And like dash away and stuff like that, and then this guy can kind of just get his attack. Actually, not this guy. This guy can get his attack off pretty nicely. I don't know where I'd put him though, but it's still. I thought they reverted the 36 boss room though, and it's still showing it. They said they did in the patch notes, but it still shows 36. Unless this is it's in the boss room. Yeah, I have no idea. I was gonna say unless it was still inside of this room, but it's in the boss room. I don't know. I'll take this guy out for right now because I don't want to have that be an issue, but I might test it at some point as well. Okay. So I think that's just about good for this part. That kind of gives me a feel for what I'm going to do. Now I can take a little break and sit here and think about what units I actually want in here before I start up the next part, because I have no idea really right now what would work good in spike trap rooms these days. The last time I think I built this, I used Stairmasters, which I might use again. They're not bad, they're just, the AoE on them got nerfed by about half of what it used to be. I can make these both old rotating flame traps as well if I need the extra point. I still have a lot of points to work with, so that might make it so that I want to use one more room. I just don't know what room I would use. Like, I really want to be able to build a good sustained damage castle, but I just don't know how to do it these days. Like, you kind of have to burst people. I would even say my last castle, even though it was over the course of only 2 rooms, so it was very bursty. A lot of the deaths, the kills that I got were because someone used a potion, and they didn't really get instantly killed by, like, I mean, sometimes the goatmen would get instant kills, but they really just got so low that the traps would just finish them off because they had potions on cooldown instead of being able to use one, because everything was so condensed that, like, you'd use a potion and you're in here and you're kind of stuck, and it's like, do I keep going or do I go backwards and take all that trap damage again? Well, I guess I'll keep going, but it just keeps on being that dense of a castle, and you can't really, like, you have to dodge everything, or else you're gonna have to use another potion and you'll be on cooldown so you die. That's what was happening a lot in my castle, the last one that I built. Also, this being a little square here that doesn't have anything in it, that might be an issue. Probably not, though. Because, I mean, the only way you're getting across this without getting flung by the springboards is if you take a tick of damage of this, or if you time it really well. Sometimes it's hard to time these traps because one of the panels doesn't go off. I think it's this one on this specific rotation. Yeah, it's always this one. This one will never go inactive, which is actually kind of bad for me. This is rotated bad. I should probably change the way my castle's facing so that the panel that doesn't go off is this one right here. Or this one. No, it'd be this one. Yeah, because I think every time I would want to go from this direction in. Although some people might want to go down, get to this, and then just leap on it. So if this panel... Hold on. If this panel goes inactive, you can walk up to this point and then leap or roll to, like, here or here. You're never going to make it. If this panel's inactive... Or I guess you could... You let this panel go inactive, you walk to here, and then, like, while it's active. So the other 3 are active, this one's inactive. You walk to here, the trap goes inactive, you can walk to here, and then you can, like, roll, and a mage will be able to get across it, and archer will get hit by this one right here, and get flown outside of the jelly wall. The same thing can happen on either one of these 2 traps. This one will be a lot harder, because you have to walk it diagonally, so it takes a little bit longer, and you might take a tick of damage. I don't know. I'm not sure which one's easier. This one's probably less distance to just cut right here than to go across the entire thing. You have to only go across half of it here, so I think I want this one to be the one that stays active all the time. So I would have to rotate my castle a certain way, I think, right? Or maybe not. Maybe it's just... I don't know how this actually would work. I don't know. I might leave it how it is. It's not that big of a deal. I'm just wondering if there's some way that I can rotate this so it'll work, but I don't think that's how it works. I don't think if I, like, rotate this room, if I can, I don't think that changes the one that's inactive, right? It's your camera rotation, and that's why it's so hard to figure out. Yeah, it's still this one that stays active. Okay. Because it's hard to figure out when you're actually in-game. I take damage all the time because depending on how you're rotated, like, you can't really orient yourself as easily when you're inside of a castle, you know? Okay, so I think that's going to be this part of the video. I'm going to add creatures, and I'm going to kind of go through and fine-tune things in the next part. And then we'll validate it and see how bad it is throughout the week. I don't know if I'll do a replay day, especially because this video should be out on Wednesday, the next one will be out on Thursday, and then that'll be patch day. So I mean, if totems do end up coming out, then there's no reason to show replays, because it's all going to be old, and it'll kill most of the replays that I'll get throughout the week anyway. So I'd probably just rebuild my castle over the weekend, probably, and then do a video on it sometime during next week. So I think that's the plan. I have a viewer castle already recorded as well that I need to put out at some point, probably. I don't actually know, it might not even come out until Saturday, but depending on if there's a patch. Sometimes there's patches on Fridays, though. It's Thursday or Friday, so we'll see. But yeah, that's it for this part. You can tune in tomorrow for the next part. We'll go through and fine-tune everything and just finish up the castle overall. So thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.